the mindset of the servant goes beyond just servant leadership. It means that you understand that there are four groups that you serve. You have your team, your customers, your leaders, if you have them, and the one that everybody forgets is you have to serve yourself. Now, when I talk about serving yourself, I'm not talking about being selfish. I'm not talking about selfish care. I'm talking about self-care, meaning you need to do whatever you need to do mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, so that when you show up to work each day, you can be your best self to help other people be their best selves. Think about it. If you show up to work each day and you're burned out, you're stressed out, you're overworked, you're not engaged, how are you going to be put into a position where you can lead others? That's why I loved when Jenny took the stage. She said, you know what? We're not going to talk about business. We're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about people. We're going to talk about purpose. We're going to talk about the human aspect of work, because that's what we need more of. One of my favorite stories that I love sharing is about serving your team. And this story comes from David Novak. And David Novak used to be the former CEO of Yum Brands. And I asked him, I said, what was the most important and impactful moment in your leadership career? And he said, well, it was early on in my career. I was working at Pepsi-Cola and I was in over my head. I didn't really know what I was doing. And so I went to St. Louis and I took a team of 12 merchandisers. And I put all the merchandisers around a table and I asked them, I said, who's the best merchandiser that we have? And one by one, all the merchandisers went around the room and they said, you got to talk to Bob. Bob is the best merchandiser we have. I've learned more from Bob in 3 days than I have in 3 years being here. Customers love Bob. Bob is amazing. And one by one, all of these employees talk about how amazing Bob is. And all of a sudden, David looks down the end of the table and he sees Bob sitting there and Bob is crying. And David is confused and he goes over to Bob and he says, Bob, what's going on? All these people are saying these amazing things about you. Why would you be upset? What could you possibly be crying about? And Bob looks at David and he says, I have been at this company for 47 years. I'm retiring in 2 weeks and I never knew that anybody felt this way about me. I mean, I still get goosebumps when I share this story. Can you imagine spending pretty much your entire adult working life at a company, never feeling that you were recognized or appreciated or valued for anything that you've ever done, and only finding out about it 2 weeks before you're leaving the company forever? I mean, that is the ultimate definition of tragedy in my mind. And what that did for David is that when he became an executive at other organizations, he decided he was never going to be a part of a company where recognition, where allowing employees to feel valued. He never wanted to be a part of a company where that didn't take place. And so as he became the president of KFC and then Pizza Hut and then Yum Brands, the CEO, he made sure that everywhere he went, he recognized his employees. He told them they were valued and appreciated. And that was the culture that he created. Now, think about how easy that is to do. You don't even need to be a leader. Let's just say you go up to one of your employees and just say, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing here. Thank you for your hard work. Pat on the back, bring somebody coffee. How easy is that to recognize somebody, to reward them, to make them feel valued and appreciated? I mean, after all, we're human beings. We're not robots. Nobody wants to be a part of a company where nobody ever comes by and says, hey, good job. Good seeing you. How are you? Right? How can I help you? Nobody wants to be a part of that organization. How easy is it for you to go up to one of them and just say thank you and recognize them and tell them that you appreciate them? Here's a quote from Sari Burkhoff. She's the CEO of a company actually not too far away from where I live, and it's the Bay Federal Credit Union. And she says, I meet employees the first hour on the first day when they show up to my company, and I let them know that I, and as the leader, I am there to serve them. I am there to serve them. They are not here to serve me. This is an important mindset to have, the servant mindset.